Welcome to RU McNair Table Talk, where we tell stories that inspire.
So, can you introduce yourself, a little bit about you, what you do?
Yes, I am Mike Bryson. I am starting my 30th year at Roosevelt
Congrats.
as a professor. It's a great place to work, thank you. My academic and professional background are I have one foot in the humanities and one in the natural sciences. When I was in college, I majored in biology and thought I wanted to be a doctor, ditched that. Then I wanted to be some kind of environmental scientist, ecologist, and never really lost that, but also had this passion for books, for reading, for writing. So I stayed an extra year and got an English major. And then I ended up going to graduate school in English to do my PhD. So that's that kind of science and literature thing to my background. And here at Roosevelt, I was hired to teach general education to returning adult students back in 1996 when we had a faculty of about 10 full-time faculty who taught this sequence of gen eds to our older students, average age about 40, and did that for 15 years before another faculty member and an associate dean back in the College of Professional Studies. We co-founded the sustainability program in 2010, and that's been my academic home base ever since. So here I am. I'm director of the sustainability program, kind of by default because I'm the only full-time faculty member in the program, and I'm also chair of the Department of Law, Society, and Sustainability here in CHES, or the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences.
Many hats.
Yes.
Many hats. You had quite the journey, quite the pathway.
That's not even half.
That's only part of it.
Right.
What do you feel like honestly inspired you to work with students, and then also especially McNair Scholars?
Mm-hmm. Working with college students is amazing. It's a great privilege. It's fun. It's endlessly fascinating. I really like the human connection that we can make with students when we work with them one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's different than the classroom, which is its own fantastic dance, of course.
Yeah.
But the one-on-one stuff is really special.
Yeah.
So I really dig that.
Yeah. I think really allowing them to just talk.
Yeah.
Just sit and have a conversation, and very informal. You're not asking them a lot of questions. You're just allowing them to reveal what they feel like is fit for them.
Yeah.
And so I definitely agree. I definitely think it's really special. What do you feel like? I guess you partially answered the one-on-one. What else do you feel like really contributes to kind of your successful pathway in mentoring students?
Well, that assumes I've been a successful mentor, but
you are.
I think you have to have an ethic of care, in the sense that you do really care about the well-being of your students, and you want to see them succeed in however their pathway pans out. And I think that a large part of what I've done as a mentor is provide encouragement and reassurance. Like encouragement to stretch yourself, to go with this topic even though it seems kind of hard, to encourage people to rewrite that because I know it's not as good as you can make it, and give it one more shot. And that support, I think, if they know you care about them, then you can challenge them all the more, because they know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, and I definitely think you have that. I definitely think you encompass that. All of our scholars who have been lucky enough to have you as a mentor always talk about how you really genuinely care about their well-being, and kind of this idea of safety when they're in conversation with you, when they're working with you. And I don't think that unfortunately it's quality that everybody has. I think it takes a certain person to have that. And you know, they always talk about how you're also just fun. Like you enjoy life, you enjoy your work.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And you're approaching 30 years now, so I think to seriously still enjoy it speaks like volumes about like your legacy and the things that you've done. So I definitely commend you on
Thank you.
that.
That's very nice.
For sure. What do you feel like in terms of like working with so many McNair students of different backgrounds and interests? What do you feel like was your most kind of like rewarding experience in that? Like your moment where you're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah. It's just a joy, you know, it's just fun learning about, because when you get to know your mentee, inevitably you have, you know, some conversations about life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk about food, we talk about family. I always like to know where people are from, because I really believe in a sense of place and how your home territory, wherever that is, shapes you as a person. It's also small town versus big city diversity, you know, that kind of geography. It's our common humanity and our cultural heterogeneity. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I think I think eventually like your mentors often become family, you know, and like I'm a big believer in that. Like I always, you know, talk to my mentors. I'm just like, oh, like you helped raise me, you know, and I say that very seriously, because in a lot of ways I think, you know, where you may have felt disconnected, I think sometimes often your mentors can kind of fill in the gaps for you, and even if they don't know that they're doing it.
And you're saying that really reminds me of the mentors I had as an undergraduate, as a graduate student, and then when I first came to Roosevelt, I had older faculty who took me under their wing, and they had seen it all, institutionally.
Yeah.
They were my age basically. They're like, yeah, I've been okay. Well, we could tell you stories, but we'll save those for year 5.
For later.
But that was really critical in helping you connect and feel at home and feel like, yeah, okay, I'm in the right place.
Yeah. What do you feel like are some really good kind of like skills and values to ground students as they kind of embark on life after undergrad? Because I think sometimes there's like a little disconnects, because you're like, oh my god, okay, I have my degree, like I got into this program, I don't know what's happening in this program, and I guess like
graduate school, you mean?
Yeah, I guess how do you
transition?
Yeah, what are some skills that are really necessary for that kind of?
Well, that's a good question. I think academic integrity is huge. You know, I mean, that's always important, but I remember talking to a mentee about this, and she was struggling with a little bit with her writing. And, you know, okay, draft 3 is better than draft 2, but still gotta do some work. And, you know, she kind of looks at me like, oh man, I'm like, hey, you know, I did like 7 or 8 drafts of X, Y, and Z. And she's like, really? Yeah, definitely. It needed a lot of drafts. And so the rigor that we can bring to critiquing a student's work in a program like McNair, which is rigorous but also supportive, then that builds another quality, which is you gotta be able to take criticism and handle it and turn it into a positive rather than have it cut you down and paralyze you. So in a way, students at Roosevelt who are not, most of whom are not born with a silver spoon in their mouth or haven't gone through elite education up to now, they have to work really hard for it.
Yeah.
And they have dealt with criticism rather than, oh, you're the best, you're the greatest, you know, wonderful, amazing. And then boom, you get hit. And it's like a tsunami. So you know, that's a case for sort of taking your lumps as an undergrad and learning to grow. gives you a real good survival skill. Grad school, do your own work so you can stand by it.
Yeah.
Even if it's imperfect, doesn't matter, it's yours. You did it. And be able to take criticism. Meeting deadlines, put that in there too.
Oh, yes.
I mean, and that's hard. You know, sometimes our students miss those deadlines, sometimes we do. Doesn't mean you're going to make every one, but if you're building the discipline and work ethic that's needed to meet your deadlines, that's really important in grad school because you get a lot less leeway.
Yeah,
if any.
Unfortunately.
The effort is hard. And I think there's a statistic out there, it's probably still true, less than 50% of students graduate students who start a PhD program actually finish their dissertation. And it varies field to field greatly. And sometimes life gets in the way. It has nothing to do with intelligence or even work ethic. It's just life prevents people from finishing. But if you do have that work ethic and motivation and stick-to-itiveness, you will tend to have success at the graduate level. And those, again, it has nothing to do with how smart you are.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. I've known some brilliant people who didn't finish. And I've known some folks who finished who were, they were reasonably intelligent, but they were no Einstein. Case in point, me, Not going to be confused for the brightest bulb in the room.
You're so bright.
But, there's other qualities that get you to the finish line. Not just intellectual brilliance.
A lot of our students, because you say, they don't come from silver spoon in their mouth, which is very true. And I think part of also getting the degree is funding, right? And so I guess how would you recommend that students, especially for McNair students, really amplify what it is that they can do in the program in order to kind of attract that funding package? Because some students will be like, oh, I didn't get fully funded. I got, X, Y, and Z. If they're in a master's, right? If they got PhD, they're like, oh, okay, I have funding for a year. But then after my year is up, they're saying I have to look for other funding from another faculty member. So I guess kind of navigating that scope, what's your advice on that?
Start your applications early because it's easy to miss those priority funding deadlines. That happened. When I was mentoring and time gets away from you, and then you realize, ooh, how did it get to be mid-February already? That is shocking. I thought it was October. So really in fact, I'm going to talk to a student, just a new graduate from Roosevelt, double major in psych and sustainability after we're done, and talk about her grad school application process and her goals and aspirations. And I'm going to emphasize to her and myself, once you identify your schools, you really got to document what their deadlines are for full consideration for financial support. Start early, read the fine print. Oh, and just be prepared for rejection because it will happen. I tell the students, I think I applied to over a dozen grad programs, roughly. And I got accepted to, 60%, 2/3 at the most. I got rejected from some, and I had a really good college record. So you will get rejected. And then it was like, okay, who's got money for me? How can I go and support myself? One.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Mine too. Mine too.
Yeah, we go follow the money.
Yeah.
But to get the money, you can't just put your eggs in 3 baskets. Three schools. It's not enough.
Yeah.
You gotta do a few more probably to know that you got a fighting chance of getting support.
I think also comes down to mentorship. Who has been of service to you at this time?
Right.
Can they advocate for you?
Yeah.
Can they really like get you to a closer point of degree to where maybe like, okay, if you're funding Dr. Drug this year, they can pull some funding from their departments. And I have to also tell my students, I'm like, listen, people will give you money if they want to.
Right.
I'm not saying that things are not scarce, because they are, but when people really want to make it happen, they find out where that money can come from.
Yeah, they do. And some people are really good at finding that money.
Yes.
And others may not be. That is not a universal skill among faculty and mid-level administrators.
Yeah.
If they don't control a budget, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
I graduated college in '90, and in the summer of '89, so the summer before my second senior year, I had a research fellowship that was NSF funded on the East Coast at Woods Hole Oceanographic. And I had a science mentor out there who I participated in the work that his lab was doing on salt marshes and coastal marine ponds. It was pretty awesome, actually, for a kid somebody who'd never seen the ocean until he was 21. And I also did my own research project kind of within that milieu. And then the summer ended and I went back to school, and then I went off to grad school in English, not in science. And that mentor was not happy with me. It's like, wait a minute, Mikey, what's going on? What are you doing? This is a betrayal. And I had a hard time. He was like, you know what? You're telling me why you did this, and I'm just not buying it. It's just not a good enough reason. And it's this guy could have set me up at MIT or Rutgers for a PhD program. Hey Paige, how you doing? We'll be done in just a couple minutes. Yeah. But I wanted to go another route.
Yeah.
To explore the humanities and literature, so I did that. But we were still cool.
Yeah.
He was mostly just giving me the business. Well, the punchline of the story, or the moral of the story, is about a year and a half later, in the fall of '91. So I was just starting my third semester of grad school. I get a call from this guy, my former mentor from a couple years back. And it was around this time of year, and he's like, so, Mike, this is Brian. What are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm working on my syllabus for English 101. And as I said that, I'm like, boy, does that sound lame.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, sounds pretty boring. Well, anyway, I got this idea that I want to run by you. He basically said, look, I've got an opportunity. Remember that long-term research project I do in Antarctica? Well, I had somebody for our research team bow out, and I need to fill that position. And he's like, it's not glamorous. You'd be like a field/lab tech, and you'd have to cook and handle waste in the camp.
Oh wow!
Like be in charge of waste management.
Example.
Yeah, it was actually a great, I didn't know it at the time, but it was a harbinger of my sustainability work here at Roosevelt. Yeah, where we pick through the garbage, doing waste audits. He said, if you want to go, you'd have to take the semester off. It'd be for 2 months, cover all your expenses. You wouldn't make any money, but you would be totally covered. And yeah, what do you say? You interested? And I said, yes, I am. How much time do I have to think about it? Because, I got to talk to people. He goes, well, 24 hours.
Wow.
One day. I went.
Wow.
And the cool thing about that is I had no idea that opportunity could have possibly happened when I worked with that person in 1989. And then 2 years later, I get a phone call out of the blue, random thing, only because another person had quit. And that guy said, okay, I need somebody who can go on this trip that I know is not going to freak out, you know, and not be squeamish or fussy. Wasn't because I was the smartest guy in the deck. It was because he thought I could handle these, you know, less than glamorous conditions where you don't bathe for 2 months.
Speaks to the grit.
Yeah.
Speaks to the grit.
But it's because we had a really good relationship. I worked hard for this person, and then I got an opportunity that I never would have gotten otherwise.
I feel like you've given so many hidden gems. And so, you know, I don't want to hold you, but do you have any kind of last, I guess, words of wisdom for our scholars? Kind of take away.
For the scholars who are already in the program, I would say you made a good decision to try this. Even if you're having second thoughts or worried about, is it going to be too much? Stick with it. You got people who are, it's their job to support you and encourage you. And you will be rewarded with opportunities that you would probably not get otherwise as an undergraduate. Secondly, don't feel like you don't deserve it, that you're in the wrong place, that you're an imposter, because we all feel that way at a certain point in time. And to people who aren't in McNair, I would say you should really think about applying. Don't be scared, try it.
Yeah.
You know, it's, if you don't think you're super smart, oh, I don't think I can handle it. If you know how to work, that's exactly the type of person who should be in the program.
Yeah. Dr. Bryson, as always, such a pleasure.
Same.
Such a pleasure, and congratulations on 30 years of legacy and labor and care and all the things.
Thank you. Technically 29. I'm starting.
You know what? We
but,
rounded up. We're rounding it
30
up.
sounds good.
30 is great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Thank you.